Most of us think we've got motivation figured out, right? Reward the good, punish the bad. Simple. But what if I told you that entire system is broken? Seriously. What if the very tools we use to get the best out of ourselves and others are actually making things worse? Okay, let's get into this because the science here is about to flip everything you thought you knew on its head.
I want you to jump in a time machine with me and go back to 1995. Imagine you're an economist, and I pitch you two competing projects. On one hand, you've got Project A, Microsoft and Carta. It has everything going for it, backed by a corporate giant, staffed with paid professionals, and designed to make a profit. On the other hand, you have Project B, and it's a little weird. It's going to be built by thousands of volunteers, people who just write and edit articles for fun, on their own time. They don't get a single penny, and the final product is given away for free.
So which horse do you bet on? I mean, based on every business textbook ever written, the answer is screamingly obvious, isn't it? One is a well-oiled, professional machine, the other is basically a chaotic hobby. It seems like a total no-brainer.
And yet, we all know how this story ends. By 2009, Microsoft completely pulled the plug on Encarta. It was done. Meanwhile, that free, volunteer-driven passion project, Wikipedia, it became the largest and most used encyclopedia on the entire planet. This result makes absolutely zero sense if you follow the traditional rules of business and motivation. So what on earth is going on here?
Well, the answer lies in the operating system that our society runs on when it comes to motivation. For the better part of a century, we've been running on a program that, let's be honest, is crashing all the time. We can call it Motivation 2.0.
And this operating system is super simple. It's the classic carrot and stick. It assumes that we humans are basically just like horses. To get us moving, you just need a sweeter carrot or a sharper stick. That's it.
And look, to be fair, for a long time, this system kind of worked. It was perfect for the routine, follow-the-rules kind of tasks of the 20th century. Think assembly lines, basic accounting, stuff where there's a clear set of instructions. But today's work, it's all about creativity, it's conceptual, it's about solving new problems. And for that kind of work, Motivation 2.0 isn't just a little off, it can be a disaster.
And this isn't just some vague theory. The science showing the cracks in this old system started popping up decades ago, thanks to some really surprising experiments that found a major glitch in how we thought we were wired.
It all kicks off way back in 1949 with a psychologist named Harry Harlow. He gave a bunch of rhesus monkeys this simple little mechanical puzzle. All they had to do was pull out a pin, undo a hook, and lift a little lid. Now, he just put the puzzles in their cages to let them get used to them before the real experiment was supposed to start.
But then, something totally unexpected happened. Without any kind of reward, without any training, the monkeys just started solving the puzzles on their own. They seemed focused, determined, and they actually looked like they were enjoying it. This flew in the face of the only two drives science knew about: our basic biological needs, like food, and the classic rewards and punishments. Harlow came up with a radical idea. There must be a third drive. The monkeys were solving the puzzles simply for the fun of it. The joy of the task was the reward.
But here's where it gets really crazy. You'd think, okay, if they're already doing it for fun, let's reward them with a raisin. They should get even better, right? So Harlow tried it. But when he gave them a raisin for solving the puzzle, their performance got worse. Yeah, you heard that right. They started making more mistakes and solved it less often. The reward, the very thing that was supposed to make them better, actually made them worse.
Harlow's findings were so bizarre that he eventually just moved on. But 20 years later, in 1969, a grad student named Edward Deci stumbled upon his work. He had a hunch that this third drive wasn't just for monkeys. He thought it was a fundamental part of being human, and he designed a brilliant experiment to test it.
So Deci brought a bunch of university students into his lab and gave them this puzzle called a soma cube. His big question was, what happens if you pay people to do something they already find kind of fun? He split the students into two groups and watched what they did over 3 days.
Okay, so here's the setup. On day 1, both groups just played with the puzzles, no rewards. On day 2, Group A got paid $1 for every puzzle they solved. Group B, again, got nothing. Then, on day 3, the money was gone. Both groups were back to no rewards. But here's the clever part. During each session, Deci would leave the room for exactly 8 minutes, telling the students they could do whatever they wanted, keep puzzling, read a magazine, whatever. He was secretly watching what they chose to do in their free time.
And the result from that free time on day 3, It was stunning. The group that was never paid actually played with the puzzles a little bit more. Their interest grew naturally. But Group A, the ones who'd been paid, they now spent way less time on the puzzles. The money hadn't been a motivator. It had been a demotivator. It took something fun, something they chose to do, and turned it into a chore. The external reward had literally killed their internal drive.
This isn't just a quirky lab result, by the way. This tendency for rewards to backfire happens all the time in the real world, and it gets especially bad when a task requires even a little bit of creativity.
Take this classic experiment called the candle problem. Here's your task. You need to attach this candle to the wall so the wax won't trip on the table. You get the candle, a book of matches, and a box of thumbtacks. Take a second. How would you do it?
Now, let's say we run this test with two groups. The first group is just timed to see how long it takes. The second group, though, is offered cash, a nice reward for solving it fast. So according to Motivation 2.0, the group with the money should totally smoke the other group, right? The incentive should sharpen their thinking and speed them up.
But they don't. Not even close. In fact, the exact opposite happens. The group that was offered the cash prize took, on average, 3.5 minutes longer to solve the problem. This result has been proven again and again. These if-then rewards, if you do this, then you get that, they don't sharpen thinking, they dull it, they block creativity.
And here's why. The solution, as you can see, requires you to think outside the box, literally. You have to see the box not just as a container for the tax, but as a platform for the candle. This is called overcoming functional fixedness. The cash reward narrows our focus. It makes us laser in on the goal, which is fine for simple tasks. But for a creative problem like this one, it puts blinders on us, preventing us from seeing the elegant, unexpected solution right in front of us.
So when you add it all up, the case against this old way of thinking is just devastating. Carrots and sticks don't just fail sometimes. They can do real harm. We've seen how they kill intrinsic motivation, diminish performance, and crush creativity. But it gets even worse. They can also push out good behavior, they encourage cheating, they can become addictive, and they lock us into short-term thinking. It's a mess. So if our old operating system is full of bugs, we obviously need an upgrade. It's time to move away from the external, carrot and stick world of Motivation 2.0. We need a new system, one built for the 21st century that taps into our deepest psychological needs. Let's call it Motivation 3.0. And this new system really runs on just 3 core elements. First, there's autonomy, that deep-seated desire to be in the driver's seat of our own lives. Second is mastery, the urge we all have to get better and better at stuff that we care about. And third is purpose, that need to feel like what we do matters and serves something bigger than just ourselves.
So here's the bottom line. For the kind of challenges we face today, the secret to high performance isn't a better system of rewards and punishments. It's found in that unseen third drive. It's all about creating environments where we can direct our own lives, grow our abilities, and connect our daily work to a larger purpose.
And that leaves us with one last really big question to think about. For so long, we've been obsessed with how to manage people better. But what if that's the completely wrong question? What if the real secret to performance and engagement isn't about managing people at all, but about creating the conditions where they can finally and brilliantly manage themselves?